Now, back to Sunrise on News Radio 880 KCMX.
Swaying to the symphony of destruction.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. 17 minutes after the hour. It's the Sunrise Show on News Radio 880 KCMX. Craig Froelich in as your host, and welcoming onto the program Kathleen Kellenbeck. She's with Brainjoy.com here in Medford over on Jackson Street. Good morning, Kathleen.
Good morning.
It's great to have you in.
Thank you.
The fog bank threw me a little bit this morning, right? It wasn't foggy all the way over from where...
No, actually it was clear and beautiful until shortly before I got here.
Okay, all right. Well, the fog is what you erase when it comes to the brain, right?
Good segue.
I mean, a foggy brain doesn't help anybody, and it makes life rather miserable. And we were, it's a sad thing. We were talking about this shooting in Medford. It's horrible, mental illness. He holed up in a home and 19 hours, and he had a weapon. He made threats against one of his dogs. The woman tried to get him out of the house. It's a very, very sad thing. And, with what law enforcement has to deal with nowadays, and when you have someone with any type of mental illness, I mean, how do you know? And then if they're off medication, and you see this all the time at Brainjoy, don't you?
We do, and if it is somebody who has been diagnosed with clinically with some sort of emotional disorder, we always direct them to medical providers before we'll work with them. And if they come to us suffering with anxiety or depression or any number of different emotional states, and they're on medication, we strongly encourage them to stay with what they're doing, right, and then allow the services we offer, the neuro wellness services that we offer, to complement that work.
Right, so then let their doctor kind of be the lead on
Absolutely.
Everything, right?
Always.
Especially with that, yeah. And that's the extreme. That's the extreme situation. But you face and you deal with a lot of folks that have sleep issues, anxiety. I mean, we talk about this a lot, but not in the seriousness of people suffering from not sleeping. I mean, they wake up every hour, and when you hear stories, sometimes every hour for months and months they have this problem, right?
Sometimes even years or decades. I was reading some statistics, and they said over 40 million people suffer in the United States with anxiety, over 50 million with depression, and well more than that with sleep issues. And honestly, if people could get a good, restful, full night's sleep, the anxiety and the depression would be much less of an issue. And, sometimes people can't quiet their thoughts. They have a busy mind, or they may have some sort of hormonal imbalance, in which case we would direct them that way.
Yeah, once again, nutrition and everything else with hormones. So this NeuroOptimal software, it says, not a medical treatment for illness. NeuroOptimal, non-invasive, drug-free process can positively impact your life in many... Look at this. These memory and focus, energy, stamina, sports performance, impulse control, executive and academic excellence, weight management, restful sleep, concentration, mood, stress, Wow. I've been in. I've been in under the program. It's fascinating. And the one session I did with this NeuroOptimal, I came out and I just felt great.
It's funny. Sometimes people say they think that their vision has improved and their visual acuity hasn't actually changed. But just like you were talking about the fog, it's as though the fog has lifted, or the windshield wipers have cleared the cloudy piece, and colors become brighter. And really, excuse me, we don't treat, cure, heal, or diagnose.
Right.
We're not a clinical facility. We're an alternative facility that helps create greater resilience and flexibility in the brain and central nervous system. And if you think about the physical body, when we stretch or we warm up before we work out or even just go for a walk, we have more balance. We have more.
The body's better.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
it
all
just
more...
is. And the same is true for the brain being the control center for the entire body.
It's really amazing stuff. We want to talk about, some of the testimonials, some of the folks you've helped, some of the removal of issues from folks that you've been, because how long have you been in, 2 years?
Actually, this month is my 4-year anniversary of having been trained and certified in 2 different types of neurofeedback. First, brainwave optimization, and then neurooptimal neurofeedback. And so, in fact, and I mentioned on Facebook the other day, we are announcing right now a special for our 4-year anniversary that's just for the next 4 days. So people will get 4 sessions for our original price from 4 years ago. So 4 sessions for just $40 each.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's the inside scoop, ladies and gentlemen. Brainjoy.com and the phone number 541-622-6220. They're on East Jackson Street, 1007 East Jackson Street. So get connected. Here's your chance to check this out and come in or call and talk to Kathleen Kellenbeck and, of course, the crew at Brainjoy. And this is just going to be amazing. But, yeah, when we come back from the break, let's talk about some of the testimonials and how it applies. Because, with healthcare like it is, so many medications, this can help you get away from some of those medications.
Yeah, and we've got some very heartwarming stories from some recent experiences I'd love to share.
Oh, I can't wait. All right, Kathleen Kellenbeck is in from Brainjoy in the studio. We'll continue. We've got a break coming up. Here on the Sunrise Show, a little bold, extremely fun. Of course, you can find us on KCMXAM.com and get connected with our Facebook page or our Twitter feed, or hit me up on email, Craig@RadioMedford.com. Whatever it takes, stay connected, and we'll be back more with Kathleen Kellenbeck and Brainjoy after this break. The Bloomberg Market Update is next here on News Radio 880 KCMX.
Get up, top of the morning to you.
Now, back to Sunrise on News Radio 880 KCMX.
Good morning, everybody. 35 minutes after the hour. Welcome back to the Sunrise Show. If you only could get in on our interview the last few minutes, you would have been laughing. Comes from a healthy brain. We have Kathleen Kellenbeck in the studio, and we're continuing our interview. She's one of the owners of Brainjoy here in Medford, 1001 East... 1007 East Jackson Street. Brainjoy.com, and the phone number 541-622-6220. And you were just saying, just before we took our break, that for anyone that calls in the next 4 days, because this is celebrating your 4-year anniversary, right? You've got a special price.
Yes, indeed. 4 years ago this month, I was certified in 2 different forms of neurofeedback. And so we're celebrating that by offering a 4-day special of $40 for 4 sessions.
Wow.
For each session is $40.
Right.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Now, we also mentioned, because testimonials are so powerful, about the people that have come in that weren't sure what Brainjoy was going to do, and they had some affliction. They don't know what, could be anything. And when they came out, I know they're just story after story after story with you, but talk to us. What's...
one that was particularly heartwarming for me recently was somebody who came to us that really couldn't tolerate narcotic pain medication and had been suffering with chronic pain for decades and wasn't even that old. I mean, decades. I'm 53, and she was a lot younger than me. And chronic, severe, daily, constant pain. Like
migraines, or
it was in
the joints,
in the female areas.
Okay.
And all the medical issues had been addressed, and she had just gotten her medical marijuana card, and was resistant to resorting to using medical marijuana because she understood how it negatively impacts the brain and cognitive abilities long term. And so, like so many others, came to us as a last resort.
Wow.
And within one session, that very first session, and we give everybody a free session to try it out. So this was her demo free session. Her pain level went from like a 7 down to a 2 or a 3. Just in that moment, and we had no idea how long that was going to last because she suffered with pain for so long. After the second session, she said her pain level was between a 0 and a 1, and she was astonished. And I wanted to manage expectations. I said, I don't know how long this is going to last because you really need to do a number of sessions to have the benefits stick. And 3 days later, she was back in the office, and she said she still felt great, and she was beyond shocked. And I was just moved to tears because I was just so happy for her to get that relief and to not have to resort to recreational drugs, which for medical purposes, albeit, that would have had all kinds of other ramifications for her.
Wow, I have so many questions about that because, I mean, the pain in the body, and yet with the treatment they got at Brainjoy, it wasn't just all the issues going on in the brain, the anxiety, the anything else. It's just how the pain dissipated. Wow.
The clinical reasons for the pain were not still existing, but there was so much muscle memory and spasming and tension in the body and trigger point tension as a result of what she had suffered for decades that no amount of physical therapy, acupuncture, massage, all kinds of other approaches could really result in lasting benefit for her.
Now, what about someone with sleep? I mean, here's the testimonial on sleep. We have probably tons of those, right?
Yeah, so often, as I mentioned earlier, people can't quiet their busy minds, or they'll fall asleep, but they wake up 2-3 hours later, or they're waking up and just seeing the clock every hour upon hour upon hour. This work helps them be able to get restful sleep. It takes a number of sessions, but they can sleep through the night and they can wake up refreshed, and then of course they're going to be able to think better and be more focused.
I mean, Kathleen, do you have a lot of folks coming to you that have issues with sleep?
Yeah, we really, really do. And
wow.
It's very, we feel very privileged to be able to just help them, hook them up to listen to the music of the brain, which is what we're doing. They're reclining back in a chair, and we put EEG sensors on them that measure the brainwave activity.
Oh, it's very relaxing.
And feedback
Unbelievable.
The music of the brain.
We're finishing up with Kathleen Kellenbeck. She's one of the owners of Brainjoy here in Medford, 1007 East Jackson Street, and the phone number 541-622-6220. Kathleen, it's great to have you in, and so excited to hear you're doing great things for people and, getting them off, giving them relief, whether it's off medications or not. It's
Thank
fantastic.
you so much. We always love coming in. We love your show.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We got to get to a break. More on the Sunrise Show. We come back. Oh, it's been solved, ladies and gentlemen.